Hello everyone, in the video today we are going to create an Oracle database in an Azure virtual machine. Okay, and today we're going to use the Oracle 12c database for our demonstration, and really I'm going to follow the quick start guide that we have here, and I'm going to give you this link in my video so you can read and learn more about it. And the tool that we're going to use is the Azure CLI, because you're looking at all the commands in this particular tutorial is using the Azure CLI, and I'm just going to use the web interface to do our work. Okay, so let's get started. So as you know, to deploy anything within Azure we need to create a resource group. So to begin with, we are going to go to our Azure, just log in and click on this little tiny icon that should give you the cloud shell. And here, if you never had any storage account, it will ask you to create a one by default. Just hit yes and it will create one. You are probably logged into PowerShell if you're doing this for the first time. If you are, then just click this drop down and select bash, and this is your bash window. And here you can start pasting commands. So the first one, AC group create, means it's going to create a resource group. Name that we're passing is going to be the my resource group. Location is STOS. So hit enter and you should see something like succeed. And this is how fast things happen with the CLI. Okay, so now if I'm on the portal, if I go to the resource group, I expect to see that resource group to show up. So resource group, just search for it over here and just take a look at it. Do I have it? It's not here. So although it's a succeeded over here, it takes usually sometimes 30 seconds to show up over here. So I would refresh this one and now you see that it showed up. So I know my resource group has been created successfully now. So the next thing is to create the virtual machine, and we are just gonna run this command. And this command is pretty straightforward. Okay, so this is gonna create AC VM create is the main command. It's gonna Azure virtual machine create. Again, resource group is the resource group that we have created. The name of the virtual machine is going to be my VM, and we are going to use an image. It's called Oracle Database Enterprise Edition 12.1.0.2, latest edition of it. Size standard DS2v2. Admin user name is Azure user, and we're going to use the SSH key based authentication, so you don't have to provide any password. So just hit enter and then give it a couple of minutes and you should see that it's running and it will get created. So I'm going to pause and be back in a couple seconds. Alright everyone, my VM should be deployed by now, so let's go take a look at the resource group. And inside this one I should be expecting the my VM, and it's in here. Give me one second. Alright, so my VM is the virtual machine. It's been deployed, and if I go in there, let's see, here's my IP address. It's a Linux. It's a Oracle 6.8 Linux that is running in the East US location. My IP address, okay, that we got from here, the private IP address, and you can see other configurations as well over here. We got 2 VCU and 7 gigs of RAM. Okay, so let's do the next step. So we got our resource group. Inside the resource group we got a Oracle Linux that's now up and running. Next thing is over here is we're going to connect to the virtual machine, and since we have used SSH based authentication, as long as you are connecting from this cloud CLI, you do not need to provide any more authentication. Okay, so again click on this. I think this window is a little bit minimized, so open it up. So what we are doing SSH Azure user at, and then you put the IP address and hit enter. It may ask you for this key fingerprint and you just say yes, and then there we go. Now you are inside and you are there as the Azure user. Okay, so the next step that you need to do is to create a database. Okay, and before you create the database, you gotta switch to the Oracle user, and then you gotta start the Oracle listener. So just copy this, and you can come back over here, and you're really running two different commands. Oh, okay, so what happened, I got the dollar signs as well with our command, so let's fix that. So from here, let's get the first one, just get this much, and come over here, paste. So that's all is human switch user. Okay, sudo switch user to Oracle. So now if you see, I used to be the Azure user, now I'm logged in as Oracle user. So that's good. So next thing, I'm gonna start the listener. So listener control start. Okay, that will start the Oracle listener. So let's just do that, and then you should get something back that it should share that command completed successfully, and some more information over here. Okay, so since this is good and we didn't have any problem, we can move on to the next, and now we need to create a data directory for the Oracle data file. So let's copy this and just create a directory that we're going to use when we're going to run the command to create a Oracle database. Okay, so over here, and this is the command that we're gonna copy, and you can study the command at your own time, but the main thing that you see, it's the dbca is the command that we are running, dash silent, and then create database, template name, here's a general purpose dbc, system password Oracle password 1, create container database, yes, number of PDBs is 1, PDB name is PDB1, here's the PDB admin password is Oracle password 1, and then the data file destination, here is where the folder that we have created in the previous step is mentioned over here. Okay, now once we hit enter, it will start the deployment of the database, and it's gonna show 1%, 2%, 8%, something like that, and it will as soon as the deployment is done, it's gonna tell you 100% deployment is completed. At this time, we'll have a Oracle database that's been installed completely, and we'll still have to do some more configuration. So let's just pause the video and come back when we achieve 100%. Alright everyone, so that command that we ran, it ran successfully, and if you look at it, it says 100% complete, and it's also telling you look at the log file at this particular location for further details. Okay, so you can look at it if you like, you can do a lace on it, and then copy the whole location of it, copy and paste, and there you go. So this one got a lot more information in it. If you really want to take a look at it, what happened, it's been stored in here. I'm going to queue out of it, exit out of it, and then go to the next step, where what we are going to do, we need to set couple of variable names for Oracle before we connect to the Oracle database. Okay, so here the first thing we're going to do, Oracle SID is one of the environmental variable that we need. We're going to set it to CDB1, and then we're exported so it's available everywhere. So let's copy that one and come back, paste. Now if you want to persist this, you want to write this variable in maybe the bash rc file, and to do that you can do vi and then do your tilde bash rc. Yeah, we got the bash rc file, so you can go to the very end, and I just pressed O to go to the next line, and then I'm gonna paste the same thing over here, Oracle SID. Now I don't need the export command anymore. Okay, that's all I need. Let's verify. Let's come back over here, So export, actually we need the export Oracle SIDs, so we need to add export over here, because yeah, we need to export that one once it's defined. So let's put that one back in, and that should be enough for now. You can also put the Oracle Home if you like in here. I already have the Oracle Home set in here, so I do not need to do this step. Okay, at this time I'm gonna hit escape and then colon, and then I like to use just X. It saves and then exits out of this VI window. Okay, so that's what I did. That file should be saved, and if I do a less on it just to double check, dot bash rc, and you see this Oracle SID that we have written is now properly set. I'm gonna hit Q to exit out of the less window again. So let's come back over here. So next thing that we need to do, we need to set up a port in our Oracle. So to do that, we gotta run this particular command sql plus as sysdba as sysdba. Okay, so let's come back over here, then paste the command. It should give you a SQL prompt now. Okay, yeah, there we go. So now it says it's connected to database 12 enterprise edition release 12.1.0.2 64-bit production with partitioning, OLAP, advanced analytics, and real application testing options. So that's what you want. So once this is here, we're going to run another SQL command to open the port, and exec means execute dbms xdb config dot set https port, and 5502 is what we're going to set. All right, so let's come back over here. Let's run our command from here, and there we go. It says PL SQL procedure successfully completed. So we should be good. Now at this time, you can run this command. It should show the PDB containers, whatever you have. So let's come back over here, run the select container ID, and the thing that you want to make sure that this PDB1, the mode is read write. Okay, so if you come back over here, and if you run this command and if you see a mount mode, then you have to do a couple more steps. You gotta do this alter session set container PDB, alter database open. You gotta do this, but since we already have it as read write, we don't need to do anything. At this time, we can quit to end the SQL Plus session and then exit to log out of the Oracle user. So now we have to go back to Azure user. So first, here you can write quit, and that's took me out of this Oracle database. Now it says disconnected, but I'm still logged in as Oracle user. So at this time I'm gonna say exit, and it should take me back as Azure user. Okay, so there we are. So now we are back like exactly when we logged in as Oracle user, so we are back there. So at this time, couple more things that you need to do. At this time, if you shut down your machine and you restart, the Oracle database is not gonna start up automatically, so it's not added to the startup process. We're gonna add that. So before we do that, we have to sudo to issue user, and that will make us the root. So let's just do that. So here, paste this sudo issue task, and now if you see, I have become the root. Okay, so as the root, we are going to run this command, okay, and edit this file. Actually, we're going to edit this ora tab file and change the n to y. So copy this file, and we're going to open this for etc ora tab. Let's copy this one because there's no point copying that one, this line. So copy this one again. We're going to use the vi editor and paste this one, open up. Oh, there's only one line in there, so just come to the end. I'll just do I in this case and change that y to I, and that's about it. So now again I'm going to press escape :X and exit out of here. Just do a less on it to validate that it's saved properly. Okay, and it says db home 1 and then it says y. Okay, that's all it wanted us to change. So we got that one. Next, create a file name etc initd. Okay, so initd is where all the startup processes are controlled, right? So here let's create this file. So again, go back over here, q for quit, then vi, and I want to creating this file. This should be empty, you shouldn't see anything in here, and that's what you're seeing, all these tildes and there is nothing. Okay, so in this file what we do, we're going to copy this the whole thing, and what it's really doing is just Oracle home, Oracle owner, and it's setting up some stuff for us. Start the Oracle database. The following command assumes Oracle sign in, will not prompt the user for any values. Okay, so all of that are being saved in here. So copy that one, study it so for some time, and come back over here, and I can paste it, and it's in here. Again, I'm gonna press escape and :x, and the file is now saved. All right, the last thing that we need to do, we need to change the permission. So if I look at it to this file, so ls/lah, and it's a init.d, and this particular file, read write. This is the permission I have, but we need to change that to match 756. So just copy this particular command. So we're changing the group, and then we're modifying the permission. So let's look at the group as well. So it's group root. Okay, so user root, group root. So we don't want that. So the first command, okay, is changing the group, and then the second command changing the permission. So let's copy this, run this, and then one more time run your root command. So if you look at it was a white, that means this file was not executable. So now if you see over here, so now it's executable, wrx. Okay, and again, if you see, the user is still a root user, but the group is now the DBA. So that's been done properly. So let's come, and the symbolic names you can use for startup and the start down processes. So let's copy that one and paste these 3 links for us. Okay, so, and you can do some more study how and why this is needed. When RC0 and RC3, RC5, there are 5 levels of RCs. You can read more on those on your own, but for now, just make sure to create these links. And at this time, we are just going to reboot the virtual machine. Okay, so let's come back over here, and reboot is a really simple command, and it took me out of that machine. Right now, now I'm back to my cloud shell, and I'm no longer connected to the virtual machine. So while the rebooting is going on, let's come back over here and see what else we are doing. It says open ports for connectivity. The final task is to configure some external endpoints. To set up the Azure network security group that protects the VM, first exit your SSH session. So we have kind of already done that because we rebooted. Then to open the endpoint that you use to access the Oracle database remotely, create a network security group rule with AZ network NSG rule create as follows. So here what they're saying, let's create a network security group rule. Okay, NSG rule is what we're gonna create next. So but hold on, yeah, we don't need to connect to the virtual machine because this is just an Azure command that we are running. So what is it going to do? Azure network NSG rule, and under this resource group there is the NSG that we already have. How do I know that we have that? So if you can come over here, go back to your resource group, okay, and look for what type of resources you have. There is your NSG, and it's called my VM NSG, right? That's the network security group. and look over here, my VM message. So that's the network security group. Here what you are saying, allow Oracle protocol TCP priority 1001 destination port range 1521. That's the port that you're allowing to this through this NSG. So if you actually go even over here, okay, and open up the NSG, you can look at what kind of security rules we have at the moment. Okay, so first of all, you don't have any security rule that is where the priority is 1001, right? It's 1000 for the inbound, for inbound 1000, outbound is outbound, there is not even 1000. Okay, so if I run this one, I should see a new rule added to this particular NSG, and this does not take very long to add the rules. I would expect like within 30 seconds or so. Yeah, I think I got it. So inbound rule, okay, over here, inbound security rule, you see the 1001, it's now added. So name is the allow Oracle port 1521. If the connection is coming from 1521, protocol is TCP, source any source, destination any, then we are going to allow the connection. Okay, so we have done that. Then to open the endpoint that you use to access Oracle EM Express remotely, create an network security group rule. So there's another one that I need. Okay, so paste and hit enter, and again it will take about 30 seconds or so to execute this command, just like the previous one, and we should have another rule added. Okay, so that one I think got created as well, and that is the 1002. And in this case, in 1002, I have a port number, protocol, source, destination, allow. So two things we have allowed through the NSG now. Okay, what else do we need? If needed, obtain the public IP address of your VM. Again, so here you can go to the portal to get the public IP, or you can just run this command. It's a pretty easy command. I just kind of remember this one. That will grab the IP address of the VM that is running in this resource group and just tell you, okay, that's 1390.87.73. Okay, so what the last thing, connect EM Express from your browser. Make sure your browser is compatible with EM Express. And now this is what is the last thing that we need to do. So let's come back here and hope that we are going to be able to connect to that particular database. So we need the IP address. Okay, we need the IP address, and we need to give the port, and it's going to the HTTPS. So let's fix that. So first we'll do HTTPS, and then give them the port and hit enter, and there we go. Warning, potential security risk ahead. That's all right. Advanced, and then accept the risk and continue. It's about the certificate because we don't have any valid certificate yet. So it's trying to alternate HTML. This content requires Adobe Flash players. I don't have Adobe Flash, so I need to get that one. So give me a second. I'm gonna pause, get that Adobe Flash, and then show you again. If you have the same situation here, you probably need to get that Adobe Flash for this one as well. Alright everyone, I have to install the Flash on my computer and then restart the browser. And now if I go in there, that's the IP where I have my VM is running, and that's the listening port where I have the enterprise Oracle Enterprise Manager Database Express 12 is currently running. And if you want to log in, you can log in by using the sys account and check the as is DBA checkbox. Use the password ORA password1. So what you need to do over here, you just press sys and then come down over here and get the password ORA password1 over here. put it down there and click that button as sysdba and hit login, and it should let you log in. If it's for the first time, you may have to go through some license approval and agreements, stuff like that, but there we go. So that's how easy it is to deploy an Oracle database Express 12c in an Azure virtual machine. We'll just spend a second over here, see what we have, and things are going well. So you have lots of things over here. You have security, storage, performance, configuration, lots of nice things over here that you can work on. But that's the purpose of this video. In the future video, I intend to use this database and show you guys some important aspects of security and how you can harden the security of Oracle databases. And we are planning to use CIS benchmark, or I might even use the STIG to show you how to harden and secure your Oracle database environment. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave your valuable comments so I can make better videos next time. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.